Hey everybody, this is Mike with the One Stop Co-op Shop, and we've got another Kickstarter preview for you today. It is Skytear Horde. This is an upcoming 1 or 2 player game where you play against an invading horde. It's a card playing game, a lot like a CCG. It actually reminds me most of Magic the Gathering or Hearthstone. Now they also have a competitive mode where one player controls the enemies. We're going to ignore that entirely because definitely the focus is solo co-op here. And like always for these previews, I'm going to give an overview of the gameplay, then I'm going to do a full solo playthrough, and then give my impressions at the end. And if you like the content of the One Stop Co-op Shops, please consider supporting our Patreon. You get early access to our videos and exclusive videos every single month. You can also check out our separate streaming channel for even more content, listen to our weekly podcast, or join the conversation on our Discord. But let's see if we can hold back the undead legions and try out Skytear Horde. So like I said, this game is clearly influenced by collectible card games like Magic the Gathering and Hearthstone, where you are using creatures you summon to defend against attacking creatures. The enemy is trying to destroy your castle, which starts with 20 health, and there are a bunch of these, 2 per faction, so I randomly picked the Frostbite Stronghold, which gives me an ongoing action I can use every turn. And by the way, this is from Dice Throne Adventures. I just figured it'd be easier than tracking a ton of tokens. Meanwhile, when on the player side, you're trying to destroy these gates that are summoning enemies. They're going to summon based on this horde value every turn, and then rotates. You'll get more and more enemies coming out. Whenever you attack the gate, you'll deal damage to it. When it's destroyed, you'll go to the second stage, and then eventually you'll go to the third stage. And when that happens, you summon whichever outsider you've chosen to fight. In this case, I'm doing one of the easier ones. This is the Undead Outsider, the Betrayed. And I'm also playing on single-player hard difficulty. They go all the way up to Nightmare. I have not won on Nightmare yet, but hard, I tend to win about 50% of the time, so we'll see how it goes this time. But that's the basic idea of the game. You're trying to race to destroy the gates and then kill the boss before they kill your castle. Although something else you have to worry about are minions. These are kind of like these in the background little dudes that are supposed to be like ravaging your homeland. This is based on the MOBA tactical game Skytear, where you have minions that kind of like fight and level up that go down the lanes. If you don't know what a MOBA is, it's kind of like a tower defense with heroes as enemies attack down these lanes and you try to blow up each other's towers. But so at the end of every turn, for every minion token, each of these 4 different colored minion cards have, you just see yellow here, they're going to pillage cards from the top of your deck unseen. These are taken out of your deck. And if you ever deck yourself, if you ever run out of cards, you don't get to reshuffle, you lose. So those are the 2 ways to lose. If your castle gets destroyed, or if you get decked. So you have to manage your minions, not draw too many cards. And speaking of card draw, very interesting. You start with 5 cards, but you only draw cards otherwise when you defeat a full group of minions or when you kill one of the enemy units. So card draw is based on defeating. You don't get a free card every turn like a lot of games might give you. Now to get to those units, you get an income of mana every turn. In the case of stage 1, you get +4 each turn. And again, this is from Dice Throne Adventure, but it's trying to not deal with too many tokens. And each of your cards in your hand indicates how much mana it costs. And there are 4 types of cards. You'll see them said right here. The 4th one is attachments, but the army I'm playing, Green Army, doesn't really have any of those. So first, most common are allies. They're going to be defending your lanes. We'll see those in a second, and also attacking the enemy gate. They have a cost. They have an attack value and a health value. This is how much damage they can take before they're destroyed, as you can imagine. This is how much damage they deal. And most will have some kind of action they can use once per turn. Like this guy takes damage. That's what the little minus in a circle is. That's a wound to restore 2 health to an ally. So again, those are allies, the most common card. They can move around very freely compared to towers, which also get put down on the lanes, but then they are locked in there until they're destroyed. And towers just have health statistics, because generally what they do is they have some really cool power that they can use 1 or 2 or 3 times, each time hurting themselves. And the 3rd type of card you'll see in this deck is spells. Those are one-time events, then you just discard them. So you do whatever they say, and they're done. And again, the 4th type is attachments. They're mainly in the red deck. I was sent 3 different out of the 4 armies that'll be in the Kickstarter. And they go underneath an ally and boost them in some way. So like if I gave the Scarifier a Lightning Naginata, they would have 3 attack value instead of 1. Basically, pretty simple. So you can pay mana to play units. It's also used to pay for some abilities. And you can keep any mana you don't want to spend until the next turn. It does roll forward. Now, I mentioned lanes that people move down because, again, this is trying to emulate the MOBA game. So you play units into lanes. And again, allies can freely move among the lanes once they're down, but towers get stuck and can't go anywhere. And by the way, how you mark that someone has used their once per turn action is you just move them down here. It's nice and simple to do. Meanwhile, horde cards will be summoned into the opposing lanes every turn. And just to run through the phases, first you get your mana and ready any of your exhausted cards that use their action. Then you summon new horde cards and resolve them. Then you do all of your actions. You can play people, you can play spells, you can use abilities, you can move people around. Then you have a Treachery phase. You're going to draw the top card of the Horde deck, and it's going to either have a special ability if you see a star, which will say Treachery down here, you ignore the rest of the card, or it's going to have some swords on the left or right. That'll be an attack boost to the rightmost or leftmost enemy, so you can never be 100% sure that they're not going to hurt you more. It's a little bit like, for people who have watched the channel a lot, Lord of the Rings LCG, where you have to draw a shadow card. Then you get a fight phase, where opposing units will fight each other, or if nobody's there, the enemy will deal their damage to your castle. Similarly, if nobody's opposing your allies, then they'll deal their damage to the gate, advancing you toward the boss. Then the 4 minion groups pillage cards from your deck, again trying to deck you out so you lose, and rinse and repeat until you lose or win. That's the basic structure of the round. We'll get into more details as we play, but that's enough to go on for now. Let's jump into the solo play. So like I said at the start of the game, we get a random castle. Here we've got the Frostbite Stronghold. It can stun the weakest Horde monster every turn, which means that monster won't be able to attack back in the fight phase, which is pretty awesome. We also get 5 cards from our deck. Again, I'm playing green, which is the medium complexity deck out of the ones that are coming in the Kickstarter. And there will be some construction options, like you'll have more cards than you need, and you can kind of swap out different things, but for now I'm just using the starting deck. And you get a mulligan at the start of the game where you can shuffle back in any number of cards and then change up what you have. Now let's see, I don't really like Canopy Hunters that much. Stalker Pack is too expensive. Skytear Drain is way too expensive. But Scarifire is a nice, cheap ally, and Death Grasp is an amazing spell to turn a losing fight into a win, so I'll keep both of those. Ooh, I got a nice replacement draw. I got another healing person with nice stats. I got one of my heroes straight out of the Skytear game, who's also a healer. God, it's got like healing forever, don't I? Which is great because they all have high health, so if I can just stay away from really damaging enemies. And finally, I got a cheap tower. So this is a great first draw. Really liking this. Okay, now going to the actual first round, I'm up to 4 mana, and I'm starting with 1 minion on each card. That can change based on your difficulty setting. Now we look at the current gate Horde value, which is 1. So we're going to summon 1 Horde card, and then this rotates, so next turn it'll be 2. Suppression Fire, so we're actually not getting a monster at first. This is a spell, just like ours, is going to be discarded after activating. So we summon 1 green minion, 1 yellow minion, they go onto the matching cards, and 1 skeleton token. We're playing against the Undead Army, and they have these 1/1 skeleton tokens. They're just weenie little monsters, but you don't get a card when you kill them, so they're definitely annoying. It also says, for the remainder of the turn, the strongest monster gets fight. This monster deals 2 damage to an ally within 1 lane. So before the fighting damage is dealt, the skeleton, the current strongest monster, is going to blast one of my people. Unless I just avoid them entirely and let them hit our castle for 1. But that's it for Horde cards this turn. So let's get into playing our stuff up. So the Chanting Dryad can use an action to heal 1 other ally, and it has 1 armor. Ooh, so that's going to be a good one to block those skeletons. Teokali, when I play them, they can move tokens from one person to another. They can also heal another ally, same as Clearing Dryad. And Scarifire can heal an ally for 2 health, but they have to hurt themselves 1 to do so. Meanwhile, the Totem Guardian also gives me healing and lets me predict some of the upcoming Horde cards to get rid of really nasty ones. Basically means I can put them on the top or bottom of the deck. And Death Grasp, important thing to show is the Lightning Bolt. That means I can play it after the Treachery card gets revealed. So if I get a really bad draw that'll make a fight not go my way, I can play this. It gives a monster -1/-1 for the turn, and stuns them if they are left with 2 attack or less. So again, I've got 4 mana. I think I'm just going to play the Clearing Dryad to block those skeletons and maybe call it a day with that. I mean, I could Death Grasp these skeletons out of existence and cancel that Suppressing Fire too, because if they go -1/-1, they would go from 1/1 health to 0 health and be dead. But that's such a good card to save for a really tough minion later, so I don't want to play it yet. So yeah, let's put out the Clearing Dryad. That'll leave me with 1 mana, so I'll pay that forward to next turn. Although I forgot I can pay 1 mana to stun the weakest Horde monster. That wouldn't cancel a Suppressing Fire for 2 damage, but it would cancel its own attack of 1. That means my Dryad would be hurt for 1 instead of 2, but I have so much healing available in my upcoming units, I don't think I'm really worried about 1 damage. Although, you know what, actually? I'm not going to fight the skeletons. Something else you can do is choose to bring minions down as monsters, because right now they're just like running through your lands, pillaging, like I said, taking away stuff every turn. Oh, by the way, I forgot. Green and yellow were the 2 that got boosted. But you can place or move one of your allies to the leftmost empty lane to bring down one of the minions, and they become a unit that has attack and health equal to the total number of tokens. So this is like a 2/2 monster right now. So he's still going to shoot me for 2 damage. My armor will reduce it to 1. And then the green minions are going to attack me for 2. So yeah, the Clearing Dryad will be left with 1 health, but you will kill both those minions, which will get me a card draw. I like all of that. And by the way, you can freely move around your allies. Towers, again, you can't move. Although if you leave a lane with a minion, they go back to the minion area. They don't just stay as monsters when you want them to prevent them from pillaging. All right, so I'm done. Let's see what the Treachery card does to us. Okay, and it gives 1 attack bonus to the leftmost enemy. If it was on the right, it would be the rightmost. The rightmost would have been terrible because the green minions would have gotten us. But here it's going to boost the skeleton to a 2 attack. Now first they activate any fight abilities, which is to shoot with that arrow spell 2 damage within 1 lane against my Dryad. Her armor will block 1, so she takes 1 damage. And then because they're unopposed, they're going to deal their 1 plus 1 from the treachery card, 2 damage to my Frostbite Stronghold. We can handle that. Okay, now we go here to the Clearing Dryad versus the green minions. They're a 2-2, she's a 2-4. So they deal 2 damage to her. And again, armor only works once per turn, so the Dryad's down to 1 life. But each damage they deal removes 1 token, so we've completely defeated the green minions for now. They'll come back. And anytime you take away all the tokens from a minion, it does count as killing a monster, so we'll get a card draw. And this creates a Stalker Pack. It says destroy the weakest wounded Horde monster. That means they have at least 1 damage on them. If a monster is destroyed this way, they come out with +1 permanent attack and health, so they are a 3-3. Although, you know what, I'm saying permanent, but that's not really true. An important concept in the game is that plus tokens and minus tokens cancel each other out. So let's say the Stalker Pack did have this to make them a 3 health unit. If they took a damage, this wound and this plus would cancel each other out, and they would only have 2 max health, so we couldn't like heal them back to 3 anymore. That plus would no longer exist. All right, with the fighting done, we go into pillaging. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 minions alive, which means 1, 2, 3, 4 cards are going off the top of my deck forever. Then the green minions go back, and we go into the ending phase. We would discard down to 7 cards, but clearly we're good, so ready for another round. All right, we get 4 more mana, so we're going up to 5. Now our current Horde number is 2, so we're going to draw 2 Horde cards, then rotate that. Oh gosh, we got another Suppressing Fire. That means the yellow minions are going to have 3 people, and we have another skeleton, and the skeleton token. That's right, this one's going to go away. But yeah, let's go ahead and put this on a skeleton again. Okay, and second, what the heck? There are monsters in here. Okay, K-Nut Lava Cannon. Summon 2 red minions, and then the Lava Cannon deals 1 damage to the castle. If there are 4 or more red minions, there are not. There are 3. It deals 3 damage instead. They're hitting us hard with these minions early. It'll make it tough for us to avoid pillaging. And our castle's down to 17. But the nice thing is we don't have much to worry about. You know what I think I'm going to do this turn? I think I'm going to avoid these 2 lanes because Suppressing Fire only hits its lane or 1 adjacent lane, and just try to fight minions in the other lane. So these skeletons will hurt my castle some more, but I want it to take that 2 damage at all. Let's see, what do I want to do? I think I want to play both my other healers. So let's play Tia Kali. Again, 2 attack, 5 life. Pretty great. You remove any number of tokens from an ally and place them on another ally when played, so I could like move the Clearing Dryad's damage, but I'm not going to do that. And as an action, I can restore 1 health to another ally. We're going to heal that Dryad in a second. That's 3 of my 5. And then for the other 2, let's get the Scarifier out, who again can hurt themselves to restore 2 health to an ally. And again, it's a Lightning Bolt action, so I could do that after I see the Treachery to save somebody. And this is pretty beautiful. Look at this combo. Okay, 1 health to the Clearing Dryad. They're at 2. Scarifier takes 1 damage to heal 2 health, which means the Dryad is fully healed. And then Dryad heals 1 health. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm liking this already. None of them can do much damage, but geez, as long as I don't get hit by really, really big attacks, I should be able to keep my units alive for a long time. All right, and yeah, let's bring down some enemies. I'll have the Clearing Dryad fight the 3 red minions. They won't finish them off, but they'll at least get rid of some of them. Same thing with Tia Kali, so we're going to get very damaged from this. And then the Scarifier will fight the 1 guy. And the nice thing is, even if you don't finish off minions, they don't pillage the turn that you attack them. So I'm going to only get pillaged for a single blue token this turn, but I will take a ton of damage. Hopefully I survive it. All right, go to the Treachery card. Ooh, +3 attack. Now it's on the left. The Suppression Fire has nothing to target, but the skeleton is going to have 4 attack against my castle, +1 more for the next skeleton, 5. We're down to 12 already, but hopefully this won't happen anymore. And meanwhile, over here, let's move these people up for a second. Yes, they are exhausted, so they should be down, but just so you can see the stats. So Clearing Dryad is taking 3 damage from the red, but with 1 armor, it's only 2. And then killing 2 of the 3 of them. Tia Kali is taking the full 3 damage, but killing 2. And the Scarifiers is taking a single damage and defeating the green minis. That will get us a card draw. Which is, oh gosh, I don't need this guy yet. The Behemoth. He costs 12, but it's 1 less for each card in my discard pile, which is currently none. The Behemoth has 1 armor and is a defender. This is something I haven't mentioned yet, but they cannot attack the gate even if nobody is opposite them, which is a trait the Clearing Dryad also has, so they can never be offensive. All right, then we pillage a single card for that blue minion, and these much weakened minions head back up. Yeah, we'll have a lot of healing to do in a second as we go into the next round. First, we're getting 4 more mana. And 1 Horde card. We're going to have another weak turn before we get to the 2. We want to destroy this gate before we get to that 2 turn again. The skeletons are still chilling. I feel like I've drawn every spell, so we'll probably get an actual unit. Yes, we did. Revenant Cavalry. So this is a Horde monster. They're 1/1, but when they fight, they get +2 for the remainder of the turn, so they actually become a 3/1. And like a lot of the undead, they have the Resurrect ability, which means when they're killed, a skeleton goes in their place. And to say it again, I draw cards when I defeat regular monsters, but skeleton tokens get me nothing. But still, this was a great draw. That guy will be pretty easy to deal with, so I'm liking this. All right, let's get into my actions with some healing. Let's have the Scarifier hurt themselves to heal 2 from Teocalli. Let's have Teocalli heal the Clearing Dryad, and the Clearing Dryad heal the Scarifier. So they're all down to 1 damage. That seems pretty easy. And now I've got 4 mana, but I don't want to play the Stalker pack yet. I want somebody to be wounded. I'm not sure if I want to play the Totem Guardian for healing, although the predicting 2 cards from the Horde deck would be nice to make sure like the nastiest cards don't come. But yeah, I think I'm going to play nothing this turn. My 4 mana will just pay forward. Oh wait, I lied. I am going to use my Castle by paying 1 mana. And that lets me stun the weakest Horde monsters so they won't get to deal their combat damage. First, you look at attack strength. They're all 1 because you don't count this fight ability yet. That'll boost them later. Then you look at health. They're all 1, and then I get to choose. And yeah, they'll definitely be this Revenant Cavalry, so their +2 attack is going to be worth nothing. They are just a 1/1 like the skeleton tokens. Nice. And speaking of the skeleton tokens, I could kill them, but I think I'd rather kill the minions with my guys. So yeah, let's go 1, 2, bring them down, so we should kill all 3 of these guys with my heroes. Yes, the skeletons are going to get through for some more castle damage, which is maybe not the best thing for me to do, but I should have a huge unit advantage over the enemy in a second, so I'm not too worried about that. And this will get me more card draw, whereas killing those skeletons will get me nothing. But I do have to deal with a treachery card. +1 attack to the skeleton I'm not blocking. So that's going to be 3 damage getting through, 1, 2, 3. Yay! Yay, I'm at less than half of my castle's health. Oh, and wait a second. I'm sorry. I don't want to have the person who's not attacking at all go with the Clearing Dryad. Let's swap these people. That's another action you can do. Because duh, he's not even attacking at all, so Teocalli won't take any damage. Clearing Dryad's 1 armor will stop the blue minion, and the Scarifier will actually take a damage from the red minion. But that's getting us 1, 2, 3 card draw, which brings us to the max of 7 cards. Canopy Hunters, a fairly weak one, but they have some good attack value. Skytear Drain is a 5-cost tower, but I can basically hurt it twice to cancel a Horde card getting used at all. Like the nastiest of monsters, just die immediately. Oh, and another Scarifier, okay. But let's not forget the Resurrect ability. We do get another skeleton from that cavalry guy. And Pillage is again limited to 1, so I think I'm managing that very well. I'm more worried about my castle letting get hurt. And oof, I have a lot of cards. So this is the max. I mean, I could go above 7, but you have to discard down to it at the end of your turn. So we'll definitely play some more stuff in this coming turn. So we build up to 7 mana. We've got another single Horde turn. And it's Shadehounds. I hate these guys. They're very strong, 4/3. And if they have someone engaging them, they move to the rightmost. This empty is wrong. They've changed this. They move to the rightmost lane. So basically you have to like kind of fake them out with your first attacker, and they never attack that person. They just move to the rightmost lane, and then the actual person you want to fight them is there to kill them, hopefully. And all right, let's do our little healing dance. The Scarifier is the only one that doesn't say it has to be a different ally. So they can take 1 damage to heal themselves, so they'll be down to 1 damage then. And then I think these 2 will heal each other. Yeah, so ridiculous to have these healing combos. All right, now with my 7... These Canopy Hunters can kill that Shadehound all by themselves. Because look, they deal 2 damage, and then they get attached to the monster who killed them, and the attached monster gains the fight ability to deal 2 damage to this monster. So basically, they would hit him down to 1 life, and then the next time he activated, they would finish him off for free. So yeah, I could like that combo. So let's go ahead and summon them in that rightmost lane that he'll be running to as long as he's engaged. Leaves me with 5 mana. And gosh, should I play this while I can afford it? After a non-outsider Horde card is revealed, you may discard that card. If you do, Skytear Drain gets -1 health, and it can't be healed, of course. But yeah, that lets me get rid of 2 of the nastiest Horde cards before they ever do a single thing. That seems so ridiculous. So yeah, I am going to play that for all the rest of my mana. Now that is a tower, so wherever I put it, it's going to stay forever. So let's move some of these guys over. They're going to fight those skeletons finally. I'll have Teocalli here. I'll have my Clearing Dryad with the armor here, and the Scarifier will scare the Shadehounds into a different row. All right, so here we go. Treachery card. +1 attack to the Shadehounds. That's awesome, because they're going to kill the Canopy Hunters in any case, so I don't care. All right, Clearing Dryad has 1 armor, so they kill the skeleton token, take no damage. Teocalli does take a point of damage, but kills the other skeleton. Third skeleton, sadly, does attack through. My castle's at 8. Shadehounds resolve their fight ability before they ever attack, and if they're engaged, they move to the rightmost lane. Again, that should not say empty, which is the Canopy Hunters. So they kill the Canopy Hunters, but unless they have the keyword trample, just like in Magic, all the rest of their damage just goes away. So their 4 + 1, 5 damage is killing her for 1, but who cares? So they take 2 damage, they are around, but again, the next time they fight, she will just instantly deal 2 more damage to them and they will be dead. And that's even if we don't oppose them, just like before they try to attack our castle. So that guy, for all intents and purposes, is no more. All right, pretty good turn. We get pillaged once. And we sort of timed this perfectly because we're going to summon a single Horde card this next turn. And then we should be able to destroy the gate with all our attack before that 2 ever triggers again. First, we'll go up to 4 mana. Ooh, Shade Havocs. Oh, you're so nasty. Look at this. They have 4 attack, 5 health. We have to discard a card to have an ally even go into their lane. When they fight, they pillage for every monster on the battlefield. Man, these people are nasty. Now, this is a bonus. It says we get +1 mana if they get played. Basically, that's a little consolation prize for drawing one of the toughest cards in the deck. You know what we can do instead? Damage our Skytear Drain, and bye, you never existed. Which is going to make this, yes, an easy turn for us to crush through that gate. Although, actually, I say easy, but how can I do 6 damage to the gate? I've got 2 from Teokali, 1 from the Scarifier. The Dryad is a defender and can't do any damage to a gate. So yeah, you know what? I think I'm going to use my Stalker pack. Even though the Shadehounds are already dead, I'm going to destroy the weakest wounded monster, which is them, to boost this to a 3 attack, 3 life. So I'm still getting a bonus out of it, although I wasted that little damage combo I played earlier. So we'll put them over here. These guys are immediately killed. We'll get to draw a card. Tribe Warriors. If you have 15 or more cards in your pillage pile, they get +1/+1, so they'd be a 4/4, which I definitely don't because I've been managing it so well. Whoops. But the Stalker pack gets +1 attack and +1 health. They are a 3/3, which means if they attack with Scarifier and Teokali, that'll be the 6 damage we need. The Clearing Dryad has Defender, so can't do anything anyway. Oh, and sorry, you know what I forgot? You always move all the enemies down. So actually the Skeletons would have been here, the Shadehounds would have been here, kind of they fill in the gaps, but the Shadehound still died, so who cares? I have no more mana. This will be an easy turn. Let's have the Clearing Dryad heal Teokali. Let's have Teokali heal the Scarifier. Nobody else is hurt that can be healed. Again, I can't heal that tower, which would be way overpowered. And I do have the 1 yellow minion I could pull down, but I can't afford to let my castle get just freely hurt anymore, so let's keep it how it is. But we do draw, and oh, there's a star. So Treachery, the leftmost monster gets +2 for each of their neighbors. The skeleton has 0 neighbors. They're doing no damage to my Dryad because of its 1 armor. Yay! Meanwhile, since they're undefended, Teokali does 2 damage to their gate, 3 from Scarifier, 3 from the boosted Stalker pack. Exactly enough to defeat it before it gets that 2 round, which means we go to the next gate and it always starts upright. So it's going to be, gosh, 2, then 3, then 2, and then 1. Ouch. And we are getting pillage for 1 again. Let's see, how much pillage do we have for that ability? 5, 8? Wow, I've been managing it well. All right, going into the next round, now we get 5 mana per turn. You do get more as you go through the gates. It's 6 when you're fighting the Outsider. And they're going to summon 2 Horde cards, and next turn they're going to summon 3. All right, number 1. That was another spell. What the heck? Summon 2 blue minions. Choose 1. A player loses 1 mana, or Griath Battering Ram deals 2 damage to the castle. If there are 4 more blue minions, there are not. You have to do both. Okay, so I'll just take the 1 mana. I can afford that. And again, we got some minions, not too big of a deal. Okay, and another unit, Revenant Fusiliers. So when they fight, first they deal 1 damage to the creature engaged with them with their guns, or if they're not engaged, they deal 2 damage to the castle. And they have Resurrect to get a skeleton, but super duper weak, so that's a great draw. So with such a weak enemy, I should be able to deal with the blue minions and the yellow minions that I got pretty easily. Well, if I do that, I'll draw 3 cards. So should I summon anybody? I could get out those Tribe Warriors. Man, but then I'd have my entire area full. You can't place anybody else, but sure, that seems pretty good, right? So it cost me 3. That'll leave me with 1 more, so I could use the Stronghold's ability to stun somebody, or I could have Death Grasp waiting in case something bad happens. All right, so I'll definitely bring down the blue guys and the yellow guys, the only ones that are alive. Yeah, I think Clearing Dryad dealing with the Fusiliers with their armor, Teokali with the blue minions, and we'll have the Scarifier with the yellow. Which means I am going to do 6 damage to the new gate. I guess that's okay. It's not enough to break it. It has 8 life. Huh, interesting. You know, if I didn't pull down the yellow minions, I could actually destroy the gate this turn and never do the 3. I think that's worth it. I think I might just rush to the boss because things are going so well. So yeah, let me reorganize these guys then. So I don't have to bring down the yellow minions. They're the weakest ones anyway. The Scarifier can deal with the Fusiliers since they only have 1 attack. And then Clearing Dryads can deal with the blue minion since he's a defender, so Teokali will give the last 2 damage we need. Boom. All right, I guess this will be a faster play than I thought it would. I should have gone for Nightmare. That healing combo has been helping me so much. All right, what's our Treachery? Star. Boosted monster gets +2 for each of their neighbors. It is leftmost. So Oh no, the Fusiliers are now a 3 damage. Plus they're going to deal 1 damage automatically to the Scarifier. Ah, darn it, so they'll kill him. Unless I use my last mana to play Death Grasp, which would take away 1 damage, and then stun him immediately because he would be down. Yeah, so I think that's worth it. I'm going to do that. So again, this has a Lightning Bolt, so I can play it after the Treachery is revealed. So boom. So this guy goes from 3 attack that he was just boosted to 1. Oh wait, never mind. He's immediately dead because he only has 1 life. So he doesn't even attack at all or do his little shooting ability at all. Lets me draw a card, which is another Scarifier. I've got 2 of them in my hand right now. But the Resurrect ability does put a skeleton token out. Okay, meanwhile, the Clearing Dryad takes 1 damage from the blue minions because of the armor stopping the other damage and kills them both. Getting me another card draw. The Clearing Dryad, I can heal for days. And then 2, 5, 8 damage. The gate is defeated, which means at the end of this round, we're going to summon the Outsider. Oh, and we'll have 2 Horde cards the next round. All right, but first we are getting 1 Pillage. We're about halfway through our deck, but again, I'm certainly way ahead of the curve. Maybe I should have tried Nightmare. Okay, blue minions go back. And then we summon the Outsider. Right now it's 2 cards, but the probably going to have it be 1 oversized card, but either way it fits over 2 lanes. So it'll fight twice, but you can also fight it twice. Oh, it says when it's played, summon 3 skeleton tokens, so he's going to fill the entire board. And the trade's base attack value is equal to the number of monsters on the battlefield. Yuck. And then when he's destroyed, if there are 2 or more undead monsters, destroy the 2 weakest undead monsters and re-summon the Betrayed. And he gives all other undead monsters +1, and he's got 8 life. That's a nasty thing right there. Mainly because of this trash I have to deal with. So yeah, wow, that was exciting. So we're getting 6 mana now from the stage 3 gate, and you can't hurt the gate anymore, you just have to kill the boss to win. Then they're going to do 2 Horde cards and rotate. But here's the interesting thing. Whenever there are no spots for Horde cards, they instead go into this Outsider pile. And basically, at the end of any Horde phase, they will be summoned once you're in stage 3. This is also what would happen if you ever had like the entire board filled and drew more cards. So once we kill all those skeleton tokens, he'll have a ton of people coming in the next round. All right, so he's going to be boosted by every skeleton on the board. And even if we kill him, he'll just come back. Which makes me think we kill this skeleton, we tank 2 hits from him, try to kill the other skeletons, and then finish him next turn. And I can't play anybody unless I discard somebody already in play, which seems like not a great idea. Well, let's have Teocalli heal the Clearing Dryad. And I'm going to have my weakest units block him. Because again, I'm not trying to kill him this turn since he would just respawn anyway. I'm just trying to tank his damage. But I can't let him get an attack through, so... my Tribe Warriors are 3-3, my Stalking Pack are 3-3, so they deal more damage. Yeah, so we'll keep my healers around, and the Stalking Pack can move over here. Oh man, I'm going to leave 1 skeleton alive, and then everybody will slide down, and he'll get boosted by all the new monsters coming out. This is not great. You know what? I hate to do this, but I'm going to throw away my Skytear Drain, as powerful as it is, just so I can get another Clearing Dryad in for 3 of my mana. That'll help me kill another skeleton troop, because I just want to deny him all of these boosts from them. Might be a terrible idea, but let's see what happens. All right, what's our Treachery card? +2 attack to the final skeleton. Okay. All right, so Clearing Dryad takes 1 damage because, remember, all undead are boosted by +1 attacks. If this guy's 2 attack, his armor stops 1 of it before he kills him. Scarifier deals 1 damage to the Betrayed and then takes 5 damage from all the skeletons, so he's dead. Stalker Pack does another 3 damage, so the guy is half dead, but then they're dead. Okay, the Tribe Warriors take 2 damage and are almost dead. Yikes. Clearing Dryad takes 1 damage. And with the +2 boost plus his boost, these guys have 4 attacks, so wow. Teocalli almost died right there. But we have cleared the board, although he's about to get like 50 more guys, so it might not help that much. And Pillaging is 1 card. We don't get any cards for killing those guys, but we are going up to 9 mana, so we can afford to play our Behemoth. That's going to be huge. All right, so here's the nasty part. He's summoning 1 guy, but then he's going to play these other 2 Horde cards. That'll be 3. Now, if he does not summon 2 undead out of these 3 guys, if he gets like spells or demons, then he'll be super easy to kill because he won't be able to use his little respawn himself ability from killing 2 of the undead. But if he does, okay, 1 Oni, awesome. And that's right, that actually goes here. And a spell, awesome, so he's not going to have 2 undead. Although, what does this do? Summon 2 green minions, pillage a card. If there are 4 green minions, there are not. Pillage 3 cards instead. We don't care about that. All right, so we got lucky here because he did not get 2 undead. In fact, oh my gosh, he got another spell. He's only got 2 units. Okay, summon 2 red minions, and then deal 2 damage to the most wounded ally unless the player discards a card from their hand. I'm probably going to do that. They would just straight up kill Teocalli. Let's throw one of our Scarifiers instead. All right, so man, what a lucky draw. They have 1 Oni champion. Who's a 3-3, and he has +2 armor when he fights. So, I mean, he is super tough to kill. But we've got 9 mana. This guy costs 12, but it's -1 for each discarded card, which is now 6. So he only costs 6. He's got 1 armor, 6 attack, 6 defense, and defender. He can't strike the gate. We don't care about that. Yeah, we're spending 6 of our 9 to put him right in the boss's face. And then what the hey, might as well bring out the Scarifire for 2. And we still got 1 left. Oh my gosh. Can use our stronghold again. Stun the weakest monster, who just happens to be the friggin' Oni champion. Okay, so yeah, this went from scary in that last round to ridiculously easy. We're going to be good to go. I mean, wow, yeah, the Scarifire could fully heal the Tribe Warriors. The Clearing Dryads could heal each other. Tikali could heal somebody too. But in the end, here's what matters to me. Let's get the Behemoth and the Tribe Warriors there. And clearly that'll be way more than enough damage. Let's look. Oh, we have to pillage 1 card from the Flying Tower's little star ability. And did I get to the Tribe Warriors? 5, 10, 12. Nope, they still don't get a boost. But yeah, so the Oni champion doesn't attack at all, but he has 2 armors. The Clearing Dryad doesn't hurt him at all. Then the Behemoth does 6 damage to the Betrayed, only has attack equal to the number of monsters, so he does 1 damage after his armor. Boom! You are gone, buddy. So that was a full solo game of Skytear Horde. Again, I could have played with a harder difficulty. I could have fought against a harder enemy army, although the Undead is all they gave us in the demo. I could have fought against a much harder boss. I haven't found the Betrayed to be that tough. So lots of ways to increase difficulty, so I wouldn't win like I did, but let's get into my thoughts on the game so far. All right, so first let's get right to my favorite thing about the game, which are the units and the combos and the tactics you can use. I'm an old school Magic the Gathering player. I played a ton of Hearthstone, and this game really gives the feel of both of those. Matching up your units against the right kind of enemies, playing instants to change the entire look of a battle, keeping your best units alive through clever play. I think all of that is awesome, and each of the armies plays totally differently and has different cool powers. I've only seen 3 of them, but there will be 4, and you can just play with the base decks. They work great, but you can do some construction too if that's your deal. So I love this. It gives me that feeling of clever play in a competitive CCG, but without having to build an entire deck and without having to play competitive. It reminds me in that way a bit of Deck of Wonders that we previewed a year or 2 ago. That's another one that had solo and co-op for a CCG, and this one is definitely leaning into that same place, and I adore it. I also think the enemy mechanics are really slick. Everything works very clearly. It's fun to match up your units against the creatures. You have nice variety. Again, I've only played the Undead army, but even playing them multiple times, I've played them like 7 times, actually more than that, like 10 times at this point. I still don't feel like I'm getting bored with them. And I think this Treachery card mechanic to randomly boost somebody is really good. It means that your matchups are never 100% sure thing, which I think is valuable here, so it doesn't feel like it's a perfectly kind of solvable puzzle. I also really like the minion management. That's a thing I have not seen in this type of game before, but I think them pillaging your deck and a way of decking you out is really cool, but they also give you kind of consistent card draw opportunities from killing enemies and pulling these minions down to fight them. And the fact that that's the only way you can draw your cards, I think it's just a really neat concept, and it works really well. I've also played some 2-player co-op, and the cool thing is that you can add all these combos in with each other, so I can boost their allies, they can boost mine, they can play awesome attachments onto my guys to make them even better. That was amazing in 2-player play. But the negative side of 2-player play is that things did get very crowded very quickly. It was much easier for us to get like a full complement of 6 units and to have a ton of enemies. That's not necessarily a complaint, but it's just something to kind of be aware of, that 2-player play will require a lot more coordination between the players, kind of discussing like which units you want to have out and which ones are going to be most useful to you. And also, I will say that my 2-player games tended to be more swingy, either going really badly against us or for us. But I think that's probably just a balancing issue. The game's still in development. But yeah, sometimes I found that I just like completely wiped out everything in the 2-player game and it was too easy. And if I had one more potential concern to share, it is that, like most CCGs, the game is swingy. I mean, you saw some of the monsters are ridiculously tough, and some of them are total weenies. And like the spells, while they do have nasty effects, I clearly got lucky in this game having very few monsters to go along with the skeletons. If I had had a ton of monsters on the board instead of spells, I probably would have had a much tougher time winning. And then, of course, the exact same thing could happen to you, especially with card draw being tied to defeating enemies. If you get really bad draws, if you don't top deck those good cards, and they top deck the best enemies possible, you're going to get your butt kicked. Now, this is, of course, a problem in every type of card game like this, so it's not like you should necessarily be super concerned. And as you saw, playing an entire game of this can take like 20 to 30 minutes once you know the rules. So this is not like some, oh my gosh, don't back the game because of this concern, but if you are really averse to randomness and card draw luck, this game is going to have a lot of it, just like the entire genre this game is based upon. But that's really my only major caution. I think this one is great. I'm definitely buying into this. If they bring out expansions, I'll buy those too. I have had a blast with this one. I just want to play it more and more, and I cannot wait to see more enemy armies to try out like new combos and strategies against. All right, thanks for watching, everybody. Go check out the Kickstarter page. Good gaming, and I'll see you at the next stop.